Hello YouTubers. Okay, time for the final thoughts. This is probably I don't know how many times I've done this video. First time today. So I did the 720p Riverwalk test this morning, and I've got to say the image stabilisation was rubbish. I apologise for anybody who watched that and threw up. I couldn't believe it. I just when I played it back and edited it, I just thought, man, that's got to be the worst image stabilisation that I've done for any camera that I've tested. I don't even think the DC1 was that bad. Now it does have an active mode. Now whether that would improve it or not, I don't know. But I just thought this is really shaky, and I just didn't understand why it was really shaky. So I do apologise about that. Like I said earlier, every time I use this camera, I find out something new about it, and it changes the way that I feel. But I think now I've come to a conclusion about how I feel about this camera. So what I'm going to do is go through the good and the bad. I'll also tell you about some other stuff as well that I've done, like battery tests and all that sort of stuff, and then I'll tell you what I think of it and would I recommend it. Okay, so first off, we'll start with the little details. I did a battery life test and I put it in 720p at 30 frames per second and let it run continuously. I had the image stabilisation on and that was it. It recorded for about an hour and 6 minutes. The file size was 3.98 gig for the majority of it, and then it split it, and the other part was 272 megabytes. So there was the split there. From not turning on to fully charged, it took 2 hours to recharge the battery. Now, as far as other effects and stuff are concerned, the HDR paint I was a bit confused with because it didn't seem to do anything. What I'm going to do now is show you a picture of the HDR effect. Now basically it's a stills effect, not a video effect, and you can't add it on later on either. What you do is you put it into the HDR paint effect, and then you take a picture with the picture button of what you want to take a picture of, and you just do it that way. If you press the record button, it won't affect it in any way, shape or form. So it's only a stills effect. The eye zoom gives you better quality, but not as much zoom as the digital zoom. And the quick start mode, I wasn't really sure what that was all about. It's some kind of standby mode, but it does use extra battery life, so I wouldn't bother using it. So that's the sort of little bits. Now for the good and the bad. I think I'll start with the bad first, and end with the good. I think that's the best way of doing it. Right, so the bad. No live feed record, no BSI sensor. Some of the modes and effects that you use actually makes the picture smaller. It loses focus in low light, and I also noticed that it loses focus during daytime as well, which happened today on some of the shots that I did, which was a little bit annoying. With the class 4 memory card, I have noticed that there is quite a lot of shake. Also there was a little bit of lag as well. Now whether that's because of the class 4 memory card, I don't know, and I am hoping to get a class 6 or a class 10 memory card to see if there is any major difference between the two, but I'm sort of umming and ahhing about that at the moment, and I'll explain a bit more about that later on. Now obviously the image stabilisation, okay, it wasn't horrendous, but it wasn't good, put it that way. Now whether that, like I said, maybe the active would have been better, but I have had cameras that have cost less money that have had better image stabilisation. So I was quite surprised that the image stabilisation wasn't better. The webcam only does VGA, it doesn't do HD. That's why I didn't do a video about it, because it's more or less identical to the DC1. I found that in some of the videos I did, the audio was pretty good, but in other videos that I did, the audio was quite bassy and distorted even, which I was a bit confused about really. So the audio was sometimes good and sometimes bad, so I don't know why it did that. Also, another thing that I got annoyed with was that when you finish recording or when you finish speaking, if you press the stop button straight after you finish talking, the camera actually cuts off the last couple of seconds So if you don't give it about 4 seconds after you've stopped talking and then press the stop button, you're probably going to lose the last bit of talking that you say, if that makes any sense. So what I would suggest to do is that if you're recording with the DC3, when you finish talking, before you press the stop button, leave it for about 3 seconds and then press the stop button, and that will guarantee your voice won't be cut off at the end. That's the bad stuff. Now the good stuff. Picture quality is improved, I think, and I think the low light picture quality as well is improved. The audio is improved, but there were occasions, like I said previously, there were occasions where it was really bassy and even distorted, which was a little bit annoying. But I must say the wind cut did do a relatively decent job, so that was pretty good. Creative control effects I love. Sin City effect, what I'm using now, I absolutely love it. I've got it on blue at the moment, like I did in my previous video. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I don't think it's picking up the blue in my eyes as much as I would like, but it is still quite a good effect, and I really do like it. You can record off the mains. The zoom quality I think is improved. It has a lock on the autofocus and the auto exposure, so you can lock the focus if you want to. And I've actually done it myself, so that is pretty good. Also, you've got the panorama effect, and you've got the 16 megapixels over the 12 or 14 megapixels of the previous generations, which is pretty good. Okay, so that's the good and the bad. What do I think of it? What do I think of it indeed? Okay, I shall say what I like about it, and then I shall say whether I would recommend it or not. I like the picture quality. I like the way that it's been improved, especially with the low light. I think it's improved. The audio, I think, is better when it works okay. I've been having issues with my audio. Whether that is true in other audio or not, I don't know, but I'm definitely having issues with it at the moment. I do like the creative control effects on it. I think they're absolutely brilliant. I like the improved zoom. Even though it's only slightly improved, I do like it. I like the options that you get in this camera, and you know, after using it for nearly a month, I do like it. I do think it is a nice camera. But having said that, the issues that I've been having with it, the lag in the 720p videos that I keep getting, the image stabilization not being as good as what I thought it was going to be, and the audio distorting and being really bassy, those three things, as well as a couple of other little things, makes me disappointed in this camera and makes me think, would I actually recommend it to anyone? I think if I didn't have had to have sold my DC1 to get a mobile phone, then I would have kept the DC1 and I probably wouldn't have upgraded. Now, okay, I got this for my birthday, so it's a different scenario, and so the rules are slightly different for me. And that's why I sold my DC1, because I needed the money at the time. Would I upgrade? No, I wouldn't. The effect, the Sin City effects and the other effects that this does have, you can actually get the majority of them in like digital cameras, or you can add them yourselves in things like Sony Vegas Movie Studio, which is only about 30 quid or 40 quid from Amazon or eBay. I don't think the extras you get in the DC3 over the DC1 warrant to spend the extra money. As far as recommendations are concerned, if you're looking to buy a brand new Panasonic DC camera, then you still can actually get the DC2 at the moment, I think, brand new. So I would say go for that. If you want the extra effects, like the creative control effects, Sin City, miniature, time-lapse, all that sort of stuff, and you want the slightly improved stills part of it and the slightly improved picture quality, then I would say at a push, yeah, I would probably recommend you get the DC3. To be honest, what I would probably say to you, wait until the prices come down. When the prices come down and you can still buy it new, then yeah, get a DC3. But I do like it. I do think it is a good camera. Whether mine is faulty or not, I don't know, and I will have to think about whether I sort of pursue it with Panasonic or not. I would recommend it for its good features, but I would also warn you about the issues that I've had and that you might have the same issues. You might have. At the end of the day, it's just my opinion. and you guys can take it or leave it, to be honest. I think in a nutshell, down to the basics and simple, if you've already got a DC camera, then don't bother upgrading. If you're looking to buy a new DC camera, then I'd say before you get a DC3, have a look at the DC2 or even a refurbished DC1 or DC10. If you are really set on getting those extra creative control features, then yeah, by all means go and get a DC3, because I don't think you'll be too disappointed. So there you go, that's my final thoughts. I do like the camera, but I don't think at the moment I would recommend it to anyone. Unless you get it for your birthday, then obviously it's a completely different thing, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope these tests have helped you. If you have any questions about the DC3, then please ask away and I'll try and answer you as best I can. If you have any video requests, then I'll try and accommodate you as best I can. Obviously, you know, as far as comparisons are concerned, I am a bit restricted by what I can do because I haven't got much left. That's enough from me. Hope you're having a good day, and I'll do some more later on. Bye bye for now.